your flesh and blood.
Welcome to Tell Me Your Story, new paradigms for a new world where we're giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. We are here 9 times a week, Sundays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., Monday mornings at 1 a.m., Wednesdays at 9 a.m., and Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m., streaming live at all those times at richarddugan.com. We are on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, as well as YouTube, where you can watch these conversations. I hope that you will take time to subscribe and click notifications so that when a new conversation is posted, you'll be notified and you'll be able to tune in, listen in, and learn, be entertained and inspired. A reminder that Choices, which is my book, 5 Steps for Life, it's available on Amazon.com in paperback, hardcover, and Kindle with Audible, soon to be released. We also ask that if you can support the work that we are doing financially, we do have a PayPal account. It is there for your security as well as ours. And when they ask for an email address to whom you're sending, please go to richard@richarddugan.com. That's the email address. If you go to richarddugan.com, there is also a link directly to PayPal so that you can send us whatever support you can. And we thank you to those who have helped and to those who will help. We also ask that you take time during this decade of perfect vision, the 2020s, to go within to that quiet, peaceful, calm, still place and listen to that still, small voice. And with that, we now take you to our very special interview and guest here on Tell Me Your Story. Welcome to Tell Me Your Story. I'm Richard Dugan, your host, and we have returning guest Mark Redmond here on the program, and his main focus in life right now, with a series of podcasts that are available on YouTube, has to do with kids and drugs. First of all, welcome back to Tell Me Your Story.
Yes, and do you know who this lady is?
No, I do not.
She's going to receive the Matlin Award on February 5th. Her limousine will pull up in front of the Arlington, and she's up for Best Director Week. And we're going to give her the Matlin Award. It's the highest award that the Arlington red carpet gives an actor, actress, director. And I have her shirt, and I want her to sign it just like Bradley Cooper did last year. And she cares about kids. She's got 2 twins, and she's got about 7 that she adopted. She's still supporting them. I love her causes, her charities. So you ask me anything you want.
Well, first of all, if you are comfortable in sharing the reason behind your concern over this, there are a lot of people who are concerned, but you have a personal story to tell.
Yes, I do. I lost my nephew August 4th, 2021. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. It's 4 p.m. And I want to insist that all you troubled people stay committed, stay on your recovery, rehabilitation, and get a hobby like singing, playing the piano, the guitar, harmonica, the flute, trombone, trumpet, or go surfing, go hiking, body surfing, get a hobby or interest, get an adrenaline rush, not a drug-ridden rush that's killed thousands. In the last 5 years, we've had 500,000 die, and that's in the U.S. alone. You had Canada, Europe, and Asia, and you've got probably, I'd say several million die of a drug overdose. China makes it. Mexico drug cartel sends it through by boat, truck, tunnel, air, any way they can get it here. And a lot of uneducated children are taking these drugs. They see it at a party. It looks like candy. And fentanyl in a Molly is not ecstasy. It's death.
So you've been on this campaign since 2021, is what you're saying?
Yes, and I started with you. You did my first 3 broadcasts, and then I went with JP Montalvo, was TV SantaBarbara, and they were just talking about the housing and the homeless. I just got done finished watching that. If you make under $30,000, you can apply for a lot less reduction in your housing. And I want them to be productive citizens, ones that are not schizophrenic and psychotic. I want them out of the streets begging for $10. I gave this guy $10. He goes into the liquor store and gets a 6-pack of booze, of Bud Light. I'll never give anyone money again. Just give them a free meal or tell them where the food bank is.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. Yeah,
It's now January 3rd, and I'm in my backyard, and I've got all this around me. You remember this one? You can go to hell, but I'm going to Santa Barbara when I die. Okay. I got my guitar. It needs to have some new strings. I broke a couple. I'm learning to chord. And all I know is everybody better have had a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I have statistics here. I want to
Go ahead.
tell you the sad facts of life. Drug overdose deaths involving heroin rose from 3,036 deaths in 2010 to 15,469 in 2016. Since 2016, the number of deaths has trended down, with 13,165 deaths reported in 2020, 9,173 reported deaths in 2021, 5,871 reported deaths in 2022. So that's good news. Maybe they're catching my drift, watching my podcast, and staying on their rehab and going to their meetings and staying committed and staying away from those friends, peers that are doing all those street drugs. While the overall number of heroin involved deaths decreased, the overdose proportion of these deaths co-involving heroin and fentanyl precipitously increased to nearly 80% in 2022. And my source is the CDC, okay? Centers for Disease Control. Anyway, this is reporting from the CDC. Vaping among younger adults and binge drinking, which alcoholism can cause death. Some people can't throw it up and their body shuts down. Anyway, binge drinking among mid-life adults also maintained historically high levels. The NIH-supported study shows that the past year, the use of cannabis and hallucinogens stayed historically high levels in 2023 among adults 19 to 30 and adults 35 to 50. That's getting up toward my age. According to the latest findings, Santa Barbara County was at 700 deaths in 2016. And this year it has gone down. 2024 saw only 400 deaths in this county.
Okay.
I have 3. So tell everyone, get a hobby, play the guitar. I got some leftover Christmas gifts, and this was given to me for my 70th birthday. The Mickey Mouse. I don't know if you can see it. The Mickey Mouse thing right there. It's a pinata with instead of candy. Because who needs candy? But every now and then, I like Reese and chocolate with caramel.
Well, I don't blame you for that. That's good stuff.
Valley granola bars.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't.
Just this morning, I've got lots of oranges at the end of my alley, and it's not on my property, but Marlene and her son Dylan don't eat oranges, so they give me all the oranges I want. There's at least a couple bushels on those 3 trees, and they're in season: January, February, March. So I also wanted to tell everyone, get a hobby, read comic books, and watch this Surfer's Journal. It'll tell you points on how to get up. It's balancing. It's just like when I was on skateboards in my youth, teens. You get up, you got to catch the speed of the waves, so you got to get in shape. So hike, bike, don't be 40 pounds overweight, maybe 10 pounds. Just dig hard, jump up, pop up, and balance, and you'll carry you in 20 yards to shore. And it's a great experience. You feel like you're just floating on air. So, Richard, have you ever surfed?
Honestly, I have not.
I want you to keep Christmas in your heart year round.
Oh, absolutely.
Merry Christmas.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I got leftover peppermints for the little kids that are 10 and under when I was Santa Claus in the mall. And I've got a lot of KU stuff around me and leftover Christmas gifts. And I go to karaoke to try to relieve my anxiety about all these deaths. And I've even dreamed that my son and daughter that don't do drugs are dying of fentanyl. So it's gotten too close. I'm going to quit. I've got 29 podcasts. And Mr. Steven Tyler of Aerosmith says, dude looks like a lady. Okay. And an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Don't do fentanyl. If anyone gives you anything off the street, I tell these young college kids, put it in the dumpster. You don't know what it is. It'll kill you, So I want to also I appreciate to the max. All my fine artists, singers, musicians, bands like Redfish. They live in Carpinteria, but they perform up and down the coast, even San Francisco. Especially my divas, Kai Butler. These are all ladies in their 20s. Nicole Sophia, she got a 2-record deal at Nashville. She's from the Bay Area. She lived here. She went to Nashville, got noticed. Now she's got a 2-record deal. She's earning a living singing. I'm so proud of her because she came from a middle-class family like me and didn't have anything, not even a pot to piss in. Natalie Espinoza, she's a great Hispanic singer, 5 octaves. Miriam Dance, that gal is going places. The recording right now with her, she sung on 5 of my podcasts. And she'll sing soul, rock and roll, folk, anything. And I like the divos, the men, David Mahokey, Jason Leeds from the Red Piano. David Mahokey also played there. Dylan Cunningham, 27 years old. His band, the average age is 30. He started a band. He's playing all over Ojai, Camarillo, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and the countless other singers, performers, all the parade participants, the ladies in the world dance, the La Boheme dancers at Solstice Parade, and at other events. Any other artists from the 99th and 100th celebration of Old Spanish Days, I love you. All of you have contributed to my podcast, and I'm proud of you.
Well, that's quite a lineup that you've got there. Uh, First of all,
Well, work hard, 30-hour weeks, and I wasn't paid. I don't care. I'm doing it as a public service.
well, now during the 2024 holiday season, you went around town dressed as Santa Claus. Why did you do that?
I also was employed at the Blissful Boutiques with 19 artists, and I bought a few things. This one tie-dye artist, he did a really good shirt, had SantaBarbara all over it, flowers, Hawaiian flowers. Looked like I was ready for the beach, and I wear that. And I got my brother one in San Francisco, but his is a different color. Mine's dark blue. His is light colored because he's got blonde hair. My mother had blonde hair. My dad, I was dark, and now I'm all white. When you're 70, you can afford to be white.
Well, again,
and I did give this out. You know what this is?
what is that?
When the kids are naughty, 10% of my children were naughty. They didn't do their schoolwork, and this is what they got for Christmas: a lump of coal.
A lump of coal. Well, going back to my original question, why did you choose to play Santa Claus or wear the outfit or uniform?
OT. Lisa Green saw me in the mall and said, "Hey, this was 2022. Mark, if you grow that out, I'll get you employed for Santa in my shop with 19 artists." I went, okay. I don't like how scratchy it is at first, but I let it grow from May until November, and I was in the mall and the Blissful Boutiques right across from that naughty shop, Victoria's Secret. And I loved it because I met all these artists that did acrylics. There's teas, there's candles. They've got a wave in acrylic. I bought one of those, and like Malibu surfers, all that. And I bought a lot of stuff last year. This year, I just bought a couple shirts, a couple candles, a couple bags of tea. Yeah.
But once again, still don't know yet why you chose to play Santa Claus.
Because she said I looked like him, and I wanted to bring joy, love. You should keep Christmas in your heart all year round.
Okay.
These
So
kids,
it was that request that sent you on that path.
Lisa Green, a minority shop owner that has all these artists in her shop. And Mark Gubazaw, do you know how he was instrumental in giving the Kansas City Royals a 1985 World Series championship? He was one of the pitchers, along with now a deceased, very good Brett Saberhagen. He saved the game. We won in 1985 against St. Louis Cardinals, and then we won again in 2015 against the New York Mets. Take that, New York.
Well, now I've known you.
Here's my Kansas City Royals bat.
There you go. There you go.
That was Bill Friend before he went to Houston. We had him for 4 years. He batted 400 average.
Yeah. Now, I've known you for a few years, and one of the things that I can honestly say is that you come across as a free spirit. You,
Yeah, and I'm very empathic because I say life should be lived and not sit on the couch drinking beer, shooting drugs. And if you have anxiety, go get counseling. The 988 number is available, and they'll give you the 1-800 number for counselors. They're standing by right now. So if you're depressed or anxiety ridden, or you feel like ending it all, if you're thinking about suicide, stop, look, listen. There's a lot of help out there.
mm,
And the public services will help you. There's food banks if you're hungry and you're starving. And I've helped some homeless tell them where the food bank is, the Catholic one on Haley, and there's other ones like Unity Shop.
hmm
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
that's Tampa.
Now you
I've
are
worked in the Catholic one.
right. You are originally from Kansas City, Missouri. Is that correct?
No,
Kansas
Kansas
City,
City,
Kansas.
Kansas.
Kansas. That's
10
right.
miles, 10 miles from the Missouri line. I grew up on a farm 35 miles south on Highway 69, which was a one-lane highway. You get behind these trucks, take us an hour to get home. Now, with the two-lane each way, 69 highway, I can get to Lewisburg. 6 miles from there was our farm, 3 west and 3 north. And I can get there in like 35 minutes,
hmm
where it took an hour when I was a kid. And my dad would be driving and he says, "Oh my God, here's a big truck full of pigs. They're only doing 30 miles an hour and I can't get them around them because everybody's in line like Pasadena traffic on Rose Bowl parade."
Mm, yeah.
And we just had the Rose Bowl parade. This is January 3rd and it's about 62 degrees. It got up only to 65 today. But raining, and I thought you were going to be so busy at the radio station you weren't going to be able to do this. It made me nervous. I got anxiety ridden, and so I went in and made some mint green tea.
There you go. There you go. Well,
Uh,
we are here now, and we're talking with Mark Redmond. He's the host of the Ears on Santa Barbara podcasts that are available on YouTube. All you have to do is Google it or go to YouTube and put that in there, Ears on Santa Barbara. And we certainly encourage you to watch them. Some of them got very long. One of them was close to 7 hours.
6 hours. It
Yeah.
was over 6 hours, 6 hours and 20 minutes, and one was 5:57. I had ones that were 4 hours. I started out, I was only doing an hour to an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's span of everybody's only 20 minutes. Why are you doing these long podcasts? I said, because I want to catch up with everything that's going on and all my singers, musicians, and a lot of them, even though they're amateur, they're as good as any of the professionals.
Mm.
And I have a good comedian, Jessica, who was on my last one, number 29, 37 minutes. She held the audience attention. I laughed until I was ready to fall off my chair onto the floor. And she added a few F bombs, but she had the anxiety of raising a daughter and a son and the difficulties she's had and her mother that didn't love her and how she did a little meth, cocaine, and then she quit when she's 19 and she's now a counselor and helps a life counselor, helps these kids just like me. And Carol Metcalf does it too. She's a psychologist. And that why I do karaoke with Carol and we get along so well is she counsels PTSD, Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force, I guess Space Force, since Trump made that up. And God help us, let's all work to unite. Let's not fight. I think that Trump doesn't know how to run government, but maybe his advisors, he's not very wise in choosing some of them, like Elon Musk. He doesn't know a thing about government. He needs to work with this both sides, Democrats and Republicans, and unite. And let's hope he does a better job than last time. He told me that COVID would be over by Easter. It lasts another year and a half.
Mm.
Everything out of Trump's mouth is just hot air.
Mm.
He makes stuff up, and it's
Right.
all about making him look good. And I don't like that. That's why I didn't vote for him. I voted for Mama Kamala Harris, and I wanted Tim Walz and her to lead this nation. But I guess the country's not ready for a woman
Well,
president.
someday that'll happen. I believe that it
I
will
think
happen.
time. I'm only 70. My aunt lived to be 100. My mom 94. Dad 88. I got at least 15 years more in the tank, and I just want to go out and go surfing. And I've got my little boogie board here. I don't have my surfboard, but here it is, Island Magic.
Ah, there you go.
So, and I've got KU hat, and I've got my Fiesta hat I got in Laredo, Texas. Well, it was Nuevo Laredo with a Mexican line. It's blue with all kinds of sparkles, big sombrero. It's
Mhm.
about 2 wide on each side. I loved going to parties. And I think now I started paddleball. And where are my rackets? I've got rackets here underneath the Christmas gifts. And,
Yeah.
just play. It's just like tennis, only it's about a half as much of a court. And then I just bought this yesterday at the grocery outlet for $1.99.
That's
And
not
it's
bad.
houses all over the Canada and US.
There you go. Oh, I love
And
that. Love the lighthouses.
I do
Speaking of
too.
which, have
I
you
tell
have you have you seen the one lighthouse? The one lighthouse that is actually not built on a coastline. It actually sits out off of the coastline in the water,
what
and
state
you can. I think you have to wait for either
is
low
that? York Harbor,
tide. What's that?
York Harbor, Maine. It's right on the water.
I think so. And there are people,
Close to getting
they're trying to
up.
sell it. They're trying to sell it to someone who will be willing to work the lighthouse.
Yeah, and look what my friend gave me, tulips.
Oh, very nice.
I've
Very
got
nice.
back. I've
So
got
you
roses
you
here. The
you
roses.
are a oh, very nice. Very nice. Now
Okay.
you're also somewhat of a sports fan, but you're very focused on the Kansas City teams, and of course, this
Yeah.
time of the year, the Kansas City
Soccer,
Chiefs.
sporting Kansas City, the Chiefs, and I hope they win 3 in a row because no other NFL team's done it. The Patriots have done 2 in a row. The Denver Broncos, I call them the Denver Donkeys. They've won 2 in a row with John Elway. And now Mahomes, somehow, it looks like we're going to lose. He comes back in the second half, slings that ball like a shortstop because he played baseball too at Texas Tech. He was in the Big 12 along with, me. I was a Jayhawker and graduated way back in 78. Ooh.
Hmm.
And I love being a DJ like you on the radio. And then Sylvia would call in and go, "Hey, DJ Mark, do you have One's the Loneliest Number?" And I said, "I told you that yesterday, Sylvia. Don't you dare ask me again. Now, I got the Beatles. You want to let it be? Let it be until I come to me." Oh, you always make me happy.
Well, there you go. That's what it's all about. Mark Redmond's my
And I
guest
think
here on the program.
read the New Testament and do like Jesus says, do unto others like you would have them do to you, which is kindness. Kindness will always win.
Hmm.
And what else did I show you? I about had it, I wipe my brow. I've been all sweaty this afternoon walking around town and I tired the hat. Woo! So now, and my son, when he was a pitcher, and Little League, he played till he was 13. This was when he was in T-ball. It's the Raptor. It's aluminum. You
Mm.
going to hear that? And he hit home runs, and he was a pitcher, and he only allowed a couple runs a game. And he'd throw 50 pitches, and then they put in a relief pitcher.
Yeah.
So, hi, Kyle.
But
Now as a cardio, helping these kids and old alike with angioplasty, pacemakers. Most people in their 70s got one of them. I don't. And he also has done assisted at bypass surgery, which is very kind of dangerous. He stripped the veins out of the leg, stopped the heart, then reshock it after the doctor has sewed and sutured those veins into your heart.
mm, mm. So you're in
So
good
he's doing
health.
really good work.
Yeah. So you're in good health.
Yeah, he's in Oklahoma.
No, I mean you are in good health.
Well, I get off the couch every day.
Yeah.
I watch the news in the morning, then I go walking, I go hiking, I go surfing. Go to Isla Vista, about 8 miles away, and you'll see all these UC Santa Barbara gauchos out there in the early afternoon, right after club's over around 3. They're out surfing till dark.
Mm.
And I'm not as good. I haven't had practice, but I'm getting better.
But you have something
So,
coming up. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Come is our red carpet at the Arlington, and I'm going to have Angeline Jolie sign this.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
Here's,
you go.
And then I am done because I got too much on my bucket list. I've done this for 2.5 years, 29 podcasts. If the kids do not get the message by now, there's no tomorrow for them. They're going to make a choice, like you said. And if they make the wrong choice, they'll be dead.
Yeah.
And their
But you have,
parents will be crying.
right. But you have something coming up in a year that you're going to be participating in, correct?
Well, there's a lot of things I'm participating in. The solstice parades, the old Spanish days in August. The solstice is always around the first Saturday around the 21st of June. And I love all the people I've met, over 1,000 people that have been influential, like priests, ministers, Maharishis, that have helped me see the light and tell these young kids over and over, do not do any of those street drugs. They're illegal to start with. You can get arrested and fined and put in jail. And then also, it's very hazardous to your life. You're playing Russian roulette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want Putin in office tomorrow because he is the devil. What he's done to Ukraine's women, children, and families, and bombed hospitals when he said he wasn't going to, and then he bombed schools. Yeah. And we just had this horrible thing happen in New Orleans where this guy, mixed up Army vet, went into the crowd with this big Ford 150 truck. He rented it, of course, and he rammed and killed 15 people and injured about 30. And they even delayed the Sugar Bowl one day because of him. The police had to make sure the area is secured for the college football game, the Sugar Bowl.
But there's something else that you are going to be taking part in 2026.
Well, tell me what you're thinking, because I've got a lot of things in 2026.
Running for office?
That. I'm going to go to the national parks first. I'm going to start off in Utah, redo Canyonlands, which is very, very remote. Hardly anyone goes there. It's a big park. Arches, Bryce Canyon, Zion. Then I'll go to the Grand Canyon again in Arizona. I love the Grand Canyon. It's in my top 5. Zion's like, I think 4. Number 3 is Yellowstone because it has so many areas and so wide open spaces. And I also like the Rocky Mountain National Park, the Big Thompson Canyon, Little Thompson Canyon with all the elk. And you see ground squirrels and you see muskrats that chew on your shoes at night if you leave them outside the tent. Because I know I can be, my sister-in-law is the executive to the Speaker of the Assembly in California. She's been in government, Princeton master's in government, undergraduate at UCLA, and she is going to help me figure out how to make this a better city for everyone.
There you go. There you go.
Tracy Laird interviewed me just like she did when I started my podcast. She's weekend anchor here at KEYT up on the Hill. She asked me to come audition as a reporter like John Commentary, and I said, Tracy, I'm 70. I'm done. I'm now going to enjoy my retirement. I'm not working anymore.
Right.
But I met a lot of them, like Scott Hennessy, Evan, the weather meteorologist. He's only 26. I met Mackenzie Lake, another meteorologist. She's very, very good. She's only 25. A lot of them are young. Scott's got 2 kids. One's still in high school. One's in college. And my kids are done. I mean, I got them through college. It's my turn to take it easy and have fun. Have Mark fun. But I'd like to be mayor one term for 4 years. And the election's coming up in March 2026.
All right. We'll be looking for that.
I'll get meetings. I'm going to get a real good vibe on these people. And I am going to help the city manager make this a better city.
What do you consider?
Randy Roush makes $81,000 a year. I could do that.
I could do that too. What do you consider to be some of the issues that
housing? The homeless have a horrible situation. I was just watching on TV SantaBarbara Channel 17 on my Cox cable about how you have to qualify, and if you make under 30,000, you can pretty much get a lot of help being able to find a place that'll keep you warm at night and not sitting out on the street drinking a bottle of wine, doing drugs. Some of these homeless, I know 3 of them that died in the last year. That street drugs because they're so discouraged and they're freezing at night under the bridge, down by the beach.
Yeah.
One of them from Chicago, 58-year-old Kevin, he goes, you want to come to our drum solo Saturday? And I did. And it's just 5-gallon buckets, plastic buckets. And he bangs on it with sticks. And then he wanted a $20 donation. And I said, no, I'll show you where the food bank is. And you know what? There's some jobs, janitor jobs. So I finally got him a job as a janitor. And he appreciated it.
Well, good. That's very good. And
He's now going to shelters when it gets cold.
yeah. What made you choose Santa Barbara?
I love it because when I was researching back in my day, 45 years ago, when kids were real, well, we were married, no kids, but then when I had children, I thought, I want to go on a nice vacation during winter where it's warm. I looked under Fodor's and Frommer's book, and it said Santa Barbara was the ideal climate. It's Mediterranean, 40 to 80 year round. We come out here in the winter in December. Kansas City's 16 degrees and snow, and out here, 65, sunny, walk the beaches. I went, oh my gosh, if I ever get to retire and I'm not dead running, engines with the railroad. I had a near miss in 1995. No, 1997. It was July 4th. This car crusher, he had about 30 cars. He's going to the car crushing, junkyard. He got cut up on this crossing at Merrick, 2 miles west of Emporia, Kansas. And I threw the throttle from run 8. I had this grain train, 124 cars long, 15,700 tons. I threw it into idle. I hit all the brakes. I hit the Westinghouse, our main brakes. I sent the signal from the back to the front on the end of the train device. And I did everything I could. I went from 54 miles an hour, because 55 is the top speed on a grain train. And I had the main line, which is the green signal. And I was doing 54. When I hit all the brakes, I hit him at about 36 miles an hour. He jumped and ran just before I hit him. And then the signal bridge came down on me, went through the windshield. I ducked under the console or I wouldn't be alive. I would have had my head taken off. The conductor jumped up on top of me and I said, good. Glass flies. He's saving me from getting cut. Then he runs out the door to the soybean field. And I've got 4 engines in the ditch. One of them's slid its fuel tank, 5,000 gallons of diesel fuel.
Oh.
All over the place. Here comes the hazardous material team 10 minutes later out of Emporia, Kansas, 2 miles away. And they're going, where's your train manifest? I said, it's all grain. There's no hazardous. I said, all you got to do is clean up all this diesel fuel in the ditch. So they did that, and it was $10 million of damage. Trains were backed up from east to west for a day and a half, and $10 million of damage to rebuilding the rail. And then the engines, each engine's worth about, the new one I had on the lead was worth $2 million. The others were worth, they were old, about 500,000 a piece. I had 4 engines, all on the rail. I thought, oh, goodbye, family. Goodbye, life. I was 40, 1997. I was 43 years old. Anyway, I made it. And now I'm here and I am enjoying life to the max.
Well, one of the aspects of enjoying life to the max has to do with, of course, your role as Santa Claus during the holidays. We are going to cut away to a trimming that you had, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that right now.
This is the president of the Maritime Museum of the Channel Islands Museum. I met him 3 years ago because I love boats, and he gave me a docent tour, and he's got a dog. And I started walking his dog. He goes to work like 8:30 every morning. I'm out there walking Bear, this collie that's 5 years old, and this dog will fetch balls, palm casings. He loves to play. And then I feed him, and then I leave, lock it up and leave. And I help out this guy who's doing this. He volunteers for free as president of the Channel Islands Museum.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll take
and
a cut away.
Museum. You and your wife got married on top of the one here in Santa Barbara.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did on June 30th of 2024. Yeah. And we will.
You didn't invite.
Well, it was kept very small. We are going to take a quick pause here. If we cut away to this experience that you folks are going to find rather interesting, and we'll be back with more as we continue here on Tell Me Your Story.
Hi, Richard. I'm getting the beard cut like I promised before the New Year's, and this is going to be Trump's new toupee. I just got to dye it orange. Okay, go ahead there, barber. Start chopping. And you better not get my skin. Locks of love for Trump. Oh, ow, ow, ow. That's pulling a little bit. Did you get all that? Look at that. That looks like I could use that for a shaving brush. Put some shaving cream on. And get the chops. You know, my Engelbert Humperdinck sideburns. I'll hire you as a barber. How much are you? $50 a minute? Anyway, Richard, I'm doing this because I'm not Santa Claus anymore. And it's time to let the breeze just fly by my face while I'm doing 60 and a 45. No, I don't speed that much. I may do 50 and a 45. I've seen the cops give tickets out, and I don't want a ticket of $100. And I don't like to park on the street when they've got the street washer coming, because then that's a $50 ticket. Every Thursday from 9 to noon at my place, I can't park on the street. And one of my friends got a ticket, $50. I can't afford that. Anyway, Santa Claus says, everyone that's doing those street drugs, stop, go to your meetings, stay committed. And if you need help, call 988. There's counselors standing by to help you with your anxiety. Now, don't cut the mustache. I will just leave the goatee. That looks good. Hey, cut a little bit more down here. That's too long. Yeah, you can go all the way down to half an inch if you want. I'll take that winter muffler off. I don't need it anymore. I have to. I'll wear a scarf and a stocking cap. Anyway, Mr. Trump, good luck on your presidency, and I hope you can work with Congress better than Joe Biden, which I don't think is going to happen. You're going to have a circus going on the whole time because you're getting all your advisors and your secretaries off of the street. Elon Musk doesn't know anything about government, and you're going to let him run the government with you? What happened to that Vance? Well, what's he going to do? Just sit there and drink cocktails with his wife? That hillbilly elegy guy? Anyway, hey, Richard, I'll do the interview with you, and then you can split the screen. And this is me with a brand new goatee.
Just have a beard.
Leave the beard, yeah, and no mustache like John Palminteri. I got to show him up. He didn't know how to grow a beard. He says it makes his face look fat. I said, you and me both, John. Tracy says I look better with just a mustache. That's Tracy Lear, weekend anchor. You know, Sean Quinn last night told me today it was going to be 64 Santa Barbara, and he was right on the nose. 64 degrees. It's 3 o'clock, and all's well. Is that good enough? I can still hear the choir singing from the 9 o'clock Mass at St. Barbara's. We sang Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Glory to the Newborn King. And this is yours, Mr. Trump. I hope you'll enjoy it. I'll dye it orange. Put it up here, and that way you won't have to do that comb over with your makeup and your darn beauty, your beautician. Bye.
And we're back after that little hair-raising event. You had some of your beard trimmed off, but as we are speaking to you now, you are, with the exception of the mustache, you are clean-shaven.
Yeah, because I do not, and my lady friend I'm with does not like the long beard. She likes it smooth. The mustache is okay. It tickles her fancy. Anyway, I decided to cut it off again, and I'm not going to be Santa Claus anymore. Lisa wanted me to be Santa Claus again next year, 2 years in a row, and I said, you know what? I'm done. Somebody else can take my role.
Yeah.
But I am going to a red carpet event, and I'm going to meet Angelina Jolie. She looks like my sister Jean. Jean's only about 10 years older than her. I think Angeline's in her 50s. Jean just turned 69.
Very cool. One of the aspects of the role that you were playing during the holidays, I did that for 10 years back in Phoenix in the 80s with the station that I was with. Now, I didn't grow a beard. All right. I wore the fake thing, but there was.
You said one time you did.
Yeah.
You said one time you did.
I played Santa Claus for 10 years back in Phoenix.
Remember you said you sprayed it white and the
Oh,
smell of pepper?
yeah, I did have a beard at the time, and it was brown. I was in my 20s, early 30s, and I sprayed it, yes, and it was awful. So I ended up having to wear the fake beard and smelling the toxic fumes from what I had sprayed on my beard. But
I'm
there's a
like
part
half
of
of I used to haul on the trains.
yeah, there's a part of the experience though that is really touching, and I want you to talk a little bit about that from your perspective in the role when you are interacting with the children in particular.
Yeah. And I don't let them sit on my lap because even though I passed the police background check, Lisa says some of the mothers might accuse you when you're hugging them that you groped them.
Mm.
I've got kids of my own. Come on. But this is the modern age where the pedophilia is going wild. There's a lot of people in this town that you wouldn't know. They act very religious, but they're going after young girls and boys.
Mm-hmm. I understand. I understand. So tell us about your experiences with the kids as Santa Claus and not only their reaction, but sometimes the interaction between you and the kids, because it can really be quite an exhilarating experience from the standpoint that because they look at you as that character, as that person.
Yeah, a lot of them say this is the real Santa because they were in Ventura and this little 7-year girl, she pulled Santa's beard. She says, Mommy, is that the real Santa? I bent down. I said, Emily, I am the real Santa. Feel this, pull this. And she pulled so hard, I went, ow. And the mother, he is the real Santa.
Yeah. But it's a touching thing. I received some Christmas cards from some of the kids one year, which I still have. And in reading them, it brought me to tears
And you
because
know
I,
what was my fun part was going when they have these soap bubbles that look like snow out of the top of the San Nuevo, that means New Road Mall.
Mhm.
And the kids clamber around me. I give out candy canes. I have like 60 of them. I pass them all out. And they're like, Santa Claus, can you get me this Tonka truck? Some of them are asking for their dad, a F Ford 150. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't do that. My elves are working overtime now. You have to get a gift that's
Oh, that's good. That's very good. That's very good. So
all
you've
right.
made yeah, you've made reference to the fact you're going to run for mayor in 2026, and that you're going to go visit some of the national parks. What else is on your because you mentioned this, your bucket list for the coming next few years?
I want to do a lot that I didn't get a chance to because when I was working 42 years as a train engineer, I worked 50 to 60-hour weeks. Now, there was a little time when I was a younger switchman conductor when I only did 40 hours, but they didn't train enough engineers. They don't want to pay the health benefits. So they asked us to work. And then I liked it because I was making a lot of money and saving up for my house out here. And so now I've got a place a mile from the ocean. If I didn't work those 60-hour weeks, I wouldn't be able to afford it because this condo, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, cost me $779,000. And now they say it's worth 1.2 million. I don't think so, but I could get my money out of it. And I don't want to. I want to live here the rest of my life.
Mm.
In sunny Southern California.
Well,
Here's to Santa Barbara.
yeah. I mean, you are so close to the beach. I envy you from that standpoint that when I was working at the radio station down on Santa Barbara
You're
Street
in
in
town.
Victoria.
Yeah.
What's that? Say again.
Don't, yeah.
Hmm. Well, I used to be able to
Yeah.
walk from the radio station to the beach in 20 minutes.
Little chickens that lay eggs. And I had that on the farm. We raised sheep, about 40 head of cattle, 80 ewes, couple rams. We had chickens, goats, ducks, everything but pigs. We even had a peacock, and it got killed by a coyote when it was about 10 years old. And
Mm.
I was 10 because we got it when I was a young boy. And I cried. My dad says it was his time, son. He died because he wasn't fast enough to get up to roost, and the coyote got him.
Mm. Yeah. Well, it happens. Well, we've got seven of our own, and they're doing well. And that's something too. Obviously, you have an affinity for animals. Obviously, being growing up with them
I
there on the farm.
love dogs. Cats too much for me, but rub up against me to leave their mark. And you can't train a cat. A dog, you can train it to catch balls, do tricks, lie down, roll over, play dead, any of that. I used to do that, train my dogs in Kansas City to do all that. And people would come to my house and go, well, did you teach it any new tricks? And I said, well, it's 5 years old. It doesn't want to learn anymore. But when it's young, you teach it all that with treats.
Well, let
Mm-hmm.
me ask you: does Mark Redmond have a motto for his life or for life?
Yeah. Treat everybody like you want to be treated. And if somebody is mean to you or trying to scam you, you walk away. You distance yourself from them because the devil's in them.
Mm. And how about something a little different? Do you have a mission statement? What is your mission in life?
My mission for the last 2.5 years was to bring awareness to the illegal drug problem. Even this homeless guy got handcuffed because they found cocaine in his backpack and he had a bottle of wine sleeping on the street, sleeping bag. I felt sorry for him, but you know what? They released him the next day. I found out they don't have money. They're asking for money. So the homeless, uh, they arrest him to get him off the street. Bad influence, showing the kids he's doing cocaine. And some of them are doing methamphetamines. That's just as bad. Then their
Mm.
teeth crack. And I just want everybody, my whole mission is to try to be a good model citizen and a glass of wine now and then or one beer, but not. Britney Spears even tells me two's toxic like her song.
uh,
I
and and
made that up. I never met Britney.
and speaking of that, you actually attend or go to various establishments for karaoke on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I go to church too. SantaBarbara's, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, Vendetta Temple. It's Hindu, and I like their philosophy, but I'm not following their religion. And I kind of am a liberal Catholic because I don't believe everything they tell me, and everything makes you. They're very, very conservative, and it makes you feel guilty that you even thought. I thought like Jimmy Carter, who said he lusted in his heart after this other woman, even though he's married to Rosalind. They make you feel like, oh, you got to go to confession. And in a way, it's a ploy. And I give money to them every week, but it's a ploy to get funds. You feel guilty. Oh, I'm going to give my half of my paycheck to the Catholic Church. And
Mm.
I'll tell you what, in Italy, it's a mafia. They own everything. I went into a rosary shop. Oh, these have been blessed by the Pope. I said, really? Pope Benedict? This is when I was in Rome with my son and my family. And I bought four of them rosaries, and they were like $80 a piece. I could have got them on the street for 20, but they were blessed by the Pope. That's supposed to be special. So I thought my
Mm.
mother was kind of religious. I'll buy her a rosary, and my sister Julia, and sister Jean, and me, and my son. I think I bought five rosaries. Anyway, I got out of that shop and it's like $150 in the red.
Mm. I hear you. Well, Mark, it's been a pleasure to have another opportunity to chat with you and find out a little bit more about you as well.
I'm going to
And
keep here because I want to lead this city to be the best city in America or close to it.
mhm.
And
Well,
we're only 9,000. I thought it was 90. So when I came here 3 years ago, I added one resident. I left Kansas City and I'm not worried. I go back to visit my older brother and my older sister. There are the only two left. Everybody else is in Seattle, Sacramento, San Francisco, Boulder. And I had one in Phoenix for a while, but then went back to Boulder. And I've still got three siblings that are working full time. The rest of us are all retired. I was the fifth child out of 10.
uh, wow.
I got it in the middle. I was the follower to my three older sisters, my older brother, the smart aleck, who got in trouble in high school for throwing eggs in the cafeteria. But I'll tell you what, I love Paul. He was real cocky, but he's changed his ways. And now he's a teetotaler because he had trouble with alcoholism.
hmm Well, thank you so much for being a part of Tell Me Your Story and telling us your story from the different perspectives as well. And also encouraging folks to, especially the young people, to stay away from drugs in particular. You just don't know.
Right. Yeah, and I want to show you what I bought that I think is really classy. This is a copy of Rodin's The Kiss, and that's a man and woman in love. And look at this. I think that's a French kiss, not a Roman kiss. Horses make me happy. My bicycle that I go down to the beach in 5 minutes, 1 mile, point one. I'm like a mile and a block from the beach. I just take my Diamondback I bought for $400 back in 1996, and I go to the beach. And then I got a little barbecue here. And then my renter, he bought, I have to have a renter because it's so expensive here. That's his bicycle. And then that's his gas grill. And he has parties here where we, add another table or something.
Mhm.
And this, what you were seeing, that I had all this Christmas presents, guitar, tennis, racquetball or paddleball, and I read too. I'm reading Open Season, and I'm reading about surfing, and I like to read biographies of all the past famous people, all the presidents, especially Harry Truman. He was not educated very well, but he knew right from wrong. And he also said, the buck stops here. And I
Mm-hmm.
just have one of those bucks.
Ha ha ha. Very good.
I wanted to get that in there because I love Harry Truman.
Yeah.
He couldn't see very well. He served in the World War I and became a captain. He married into wealth. Independence family, the Simpsons. She had money, and Mamie and he. No, that's Eisenhower. Who was it that was married to Harry Truman?
Bess.
No, that was Eleanor. Was FDR.
No, Bess. Bess
Bessie,
Truman.
Bessie Truman, and they lived to be in their 80s.
Yeah.
I think Harry lived to be 88, and Bess 87.
Mm.
Anyway, so I want to welcome everybody to my backyard. I've got a bird bath. There's my surfing scuba pro suit. And I want everyone, there's my roller skates. I go skating on Sunday at the City College. I want everyone to take a deep breath like you do in yoga and blow it out slow, and just try to know that you don't have to be anxiety ridden. When you feel that way, talk to people, your friends, your family, and get some counseling. And I need to tell everyone to contribute to Tell Me Your Story, because you have a great program and you've interviewed over 1,200 people in the last 18 years.
Probably close to that. Yes, probably close to that. Well, once again, Mark, thank you so much for being a part of the program. And I thank you folks for listening to and watching Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World, where we're giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. And until our next broadcast, podcast, videocast, love to all. Jeanette, I am still listening. Dad, continue to be happy because I am. Smokey, I'll see you on the other side. And to my dear friend Zorro, aho, aho.